Good morning. This is Brian King. This message is for my fellow fathers out there. I think a lot about this whole thing called parenting. As you all know, that there's no workbook. It's hard to do. And we spend a lot of times beating ourselves up when we feel like we've screwed up. But one of the things that I've discovered, especially as a dad with special needs kids, my sons have Asperger's and ADHD. And I don't know if I kind of stumbled across this. It wasn't my vision on the outset. You read a lot of parenting books, and especially in the special needs community, there's a lot written about how to fix your kid, how to get your child to comply, how to get your child to behave, and so on and so forth. What I've discovered is ultimately the key to really influencing and empowering your kids is you got to work on yourself, period. Because I don't know what the percentage is. I want to say 95% plus of how your kids end up being in the world is through watching you, through interacting with you, by getting a sense of how you feel about them, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about the world. Those things shape your child more than anything else. My kids have been through bullying. They've been through a horrible divorce when their mom left us. They've seen me deal with a chronic illness, and yet they are resourceful, they're responsible, they're conscientious, and on and on. And that has to do because of them watching me, how I live my life, how I am in the world, and how I relate to them. Hear that? How I relate to them, not, don't you talk to me that way. This reactive nonsense where we're always trying to intimidate them into submission. We're trying to scold them into respecting us. That is not how you raise your kids to be effective members of society. It's through watching you and how you manage the role of being a parent. You've got to work on yourself. Your own psychology, your own emotional regulation, your own resolve. What are your values? How do you practice them? A lot of us are entrepreneurs too, or maybe not. Maybe we have day jobs. And we read books on how to become better at our job. Great. One thing I strongly encourage is to ask yourself, how does this information help me become a better father? How do I generalize this? Because I'm sure you know these people, they compartmentalize their life. I have my hobbies, I have my job, I have my home, and they really don't realize how complementary that knowledge can be in helping them improve in the one area that is the most important aspect of their legacy. I don't care how many sales you make or how you made this company one of the top 100 in the country. If your kids hate you, you've blown it. I don't care how successful you are as a business person. Your legacy is going to be in your family, not in your bottom line. Okay? That's just my personal opinion. Take it or leave it. But if you're going to read a book, make sure it generalizes back to your life. How does this make me a better father? How do I make sure that my business, my personal, my hobby are this one fluid experience of how I live my life? That in each one of these domains, I can demonstrate who I am, what I value, and what my contribution is to the world. Because your kids are going to watch you do all of it. How do you conduct yourself as a business person? When you're involved in a hobby, is it just to blow off time? Or do they see evidence of a high quality of work? My father, very, very gifted with carpentry. I am not. But I would see him. He used to make doll houses, custom doll houses out of wood. I would see him painstakingly carve every shingle on the house. He would sand every little post on the stair rail. And it wasn't perfectionism. It was a standard in terms of the quality of the work that he was going to deliver to the person who wanted this style house from him. And I watched him do this, and he didn't have to say a damn thing to me about it. He didn't have to say, son, come over here. I want to show you what real work looks like. I just watched him, and I got a sense of what his standard was. I don't know how much my dad realized I took from him just from watching. But our kids are watching us. They're watching how we develop ourselves, what kind of stuff we take in, and most importantly, what's the stuff we put out, especially in our relationship to them. You want your kids to grow up to be confident, resilient, responsible, resourceful. Work on yourself. That's my message. I hope it's helpful. Take care.